Hi, I'm Mohammed Meah, and this is my submission for the mobile web application development reset portfolio. In this video, I present 7 native Android apps I've developed using Java, explaining their design, functionality, code, and any challenges I've faced. Each app starts with wireframe planning, followed by the implementations and reflects both front end and back end development. Let's begin with app 1. This app was designed to respond to 5 buttons placed at each screen corner and center. When clicked, each button displays a custom toast message in the corresponding location. I use wireframes to plan the layout, focusing on symmetry and color customization. Creating toast messages for specific regions using gravity controls was tricky at first, but I resolved this by applying layout inflation for each position. Visually, I added a custom background image, shaped buttons, and included feedback animations to improve UX. This app updates spinner content based on selected radial buttons. For instance, if the user selects countries, the spinner will show cities from that country. Once both are chosen, the results appear in the text view. Wireframes help develop a simple but user-friendly form. The main challenge was resetting the spinner without clearing the user's selection, which I fixed using a conditional adapter reset. The UI remained responsive, and validation was applied to ensure nothing is submitted without proper selection. The third app is a horizontal and vertical scrollable catalog. Users swipe through a gallery of items and click on one to view its detailed information and any activity. I use view page or two and intent navigation to switch between the pages. Wireframes planned both screens and ensure spacing for readable content. Navigating back and forth between activities without memory leak was an issue. I solved using finish and flags. I use stag images and descriptions as required to keep the transition smooth using animations. This app here features a login form with floating labels and basic credential validations. The user has 3 attempts to log in using admin as a username and password. If failed, the app exits. Wireframes focus on clarity and input space. The backend use global counters to track attempts, and the validation for both fields ensured a minimum 4 characters. I added a clear button to reset fields, and the error message floats above the input box for better UX. The app runs without bugs. This calculator performs chained operations at 25 plus 5 minus 3 times 2. The app restricts invalid decimal input, like multiple dots per number. Wireframes help me position buttons and the single X edit text display. Logic wires are store values and operations using state variables and flags. Managing operations priority and continuous calculations flow was the hardest part, but I solved using it through a function stack and operator memory. I also added a clear button to reset calculations. The inventory app connects to Firebase Firestore. Users can add, update, or delete items. This form uses the edit text and spinners for item name, type, and quantity. Wireframes laid out the add, edit, delete forms clearly. I implemented auto incriminated item IDs, update toggling, and delete confirmation. The hardest part was binding Firebase snapshot updates to the list in real time. I use value listeners and filters to keep the list clean and up to date. The UI reflects the change instantly. The inventory app connects to Firebase Firestore. Users can add, update, or delete items. This form uses the edit text and spinners for item name, type, and quantity. Wireframes laid out the add, edit, delete forms clearly. I implemented auto incriminated item IDs, update toggling, and delete confirmation. The hardest part was binding Firebase snapshot updates to the list in real time. I use value listeners and filters to keep the list clean and up to date. The UI reflects the change instantly. The shopping cart lets users browse products, select quantities, and add them to a basket pop up. From the pop up, users can remove items, continue shopping, or proceed to checkout at screens. These baskets persist during navigation, and the checkout screen displays total items and cost. I use a recycle view dialog fragment and the dynamic data arrays for this. The biggest challenge was keeping the basket state consistent across screens, which I solved using a shared view model. In conclusion, the model improved my front end and data integration skills. If I had one more time, I add a user authorization and persistent cards.
I think that was the last one. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy your day.